In the year 1300, the Ottoman Empire started existing. It was a tiny landlocked nation in Asia Minor. Fast forward a bit to 1586, and the Ottoman Empire was the largest nation in the world at the time, spanning 3 continents and with the city of Istanbul as its capital. But the Ottoman Empire would see its ups and downs, and mostly downs. In 1800, the Ottomans lost most of their territory in Europe to the Austrian and Russian empires, lost minor territory in Asia to the Persian Empire, and later Serbia revolted against the Ottoman Empire. The revolt failed, but the Conference of Vienna, the Ottomans lost most of their territory in the Middle East to the Saudis. They eventually got it back in 1818, but soon after that, in 1921, the Greek War of Independence started, and the Greeks received help from the Russian Empire. It was only so that the Russians could seize territory from the Ottoman Empire in the Caucasus, and the war ended in 1813, which was a success for the Russian and Greek rebels, but not so much for the Ottomans. Our story begins 48 years later with the Treaty of San Stefano in 1877, which resulted from a war with Russia, Bulgarian, and Serbian rebels, which forced the Ottoman Empire to give Serbia, Montenegro, and Romania independence and hand over Bosnia and Herzegovina to the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and Bulgaria to Russia, which had territory in Macedonia and a coast on the Mediterranean Sea. Russia faced backlash from Britain and France. In 1878, the Treaty of Berlin rearranged the borders of the Balkans and cut Bulgaria in half and made an Ottoman puppet state. The Ottoman Empire was still in debt, which it was ever since 1804, but in 1878 it was even worse. Eventually, the Ottoman Empire had a series of territorial losses, including Tunisia and France in 1882, and Cyprus in 1879, and Egypt in 1883, both to the British. Things were still turbulent in the Ottoman Empire in 1908 when the Young Turk Revolt happened, which sought to turn the Ottoman Empire from a religiously conservative nation to an industrial constitutional monarchy. It worked, but Bulgaria took advantage of the chaos by declaring its independence. The conservatives launched a counter-coup, which failed in 1909. Eventually, in 1911, the Ottomans would streak of territorial losses to Italy in a war that lasted from 1911 to October of 1912, and Italy annexed Libya. But before the war ended, Bulgaria, Greece, Montenegro, and Romania all went to war with the Ottoman Empire, and shockingly, the Ottoman Empire lost, and the Ottomans lost all their territory within Europe. Eventually, Bulgaria went to war with the Ottoman Empire and went to war with all its previous allies, and the Ottomans joined 6 days before the war ended, and so the very next year, World War I started, and the Ottomans were originally neutral, but joined November of... The Ottoman Empire lost the war with every one of their allies and 1/10 of their population due to the war. They lost Syria to France, Iraq and Jordan and were given to the British, and the rest of the empire was given to Saudi Arabia, which meant that all that was left of the was Ottoman Turkey, which the French, Greek, and Italian governments eyeing for Turkey, for their global empires. Italy dropped out of the peace conferences, which left France, Greece, and Armenia to split up the empty shell of the Ottoman Empire, which led to the 3 nations to invade Armenia immediately left the war when the Soviets annexed the nation. The remains of the government of a deceased empire supported the invasion, but the people did not. So Mustafa Kemal formed their own, and a bunch of other people formed their own government, which led to war with Greece and France in 1922. The war ended and Turkey remained. Eventually, Mustafa forced the Sultan to abdicate, ending 600 years of life of the Ottoman Empire.